Okay, so this is our second Kegerator build. This one's going to be slightly different because this is using a second-hand Smeg fridge which I purchased off eBay. We're going to fit 3 flow control taps, and we're also going to daisy chain secondary regulators so I have control over the pressure on different kegs at different rates. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to focus on the gas. I've already threaded through the 3/16 through the drainage hole on the back. And that then comes out round the side, which will then connect to my gas regulator. Okay, so this is my gas bottle. As you can see, I've actually put a right hand 90-degree John Guest on there. That just makes it a little bit tidier because I've only got a small gap down the side of the fridge to fit the regulator and the gas bowl and the gas line, so I want to actually point it in the direction I want to be able to put it into. Then coming out of this, I've got a splitter going onto the shut-off valves. The reason for this is on the outside of the fridge, I want to also have a line where I can carbonate and put CO2 into kegs as I'm filling them, and use that on the outside without having to disconnect the kegs which are inside. Okay, so connecting the gas lines with John Guest, this is the nice thing, you can just simply push it in. I've then got 2 lines coming out of the gas bottle. One of these will be connected to the fridge. And then the other one has a gas disconnect and a no return valve. Okay, so this will stay on the outside of the fridge, so then I can fill up my kegs or anything else that I want to use CO2 outside of the fridge without having to disconnect inside. Okay, so that's now down the side of the fridge. You can see the regulator and this gas line which I can use outside of the fridge as an external line. Okay, so now inside of the fridge, there's the 3/16 line coming in, which I'm then stepping back up to 3/8. Because this will then hook onto the first of my secondary regulators, which I'm now going to mount inside of the fridge. Okay, so I'm going to mount the secondary regulators just inside of the door, because I know where I'm going to put my taps. I'm going to put my taps just to the left of the handle, so that way I'm avoiding the middle section. So I'm going to make a mark where I need to put the screws. So I've put the 1 screw in. Just going to pop the second one in. Now I know there's no cooling pipes or anything I need to worry about in the door, which is why this is quite a nice place to mount these. So I've now put the screws in for the secondary regulator, and that's then going to daisy chain from the first. A little bit stiff with the beer line. There we go. Okay, so next part, the gas line, which is going from the back of the fridge, goes into the side of the secondary regulator. So off that one, I'm then going to run 2 lines, so I can have 2 kegs at the same pressure from this regulator, and then from this a single line, so I can have another keg at a slightly different pressure. Each of these has its own gas disconnect, again with John Guest and the no return valve. So there are my 3 gas lines. Okay, so now I'm going to mark up where the taps are going to go. some masking tape. What we need to consider is that each of the shanks will have the collar on it, so you need to leave enough space for the collar. The first one I'm going to have so. And if I leave, say, an inch either side, now I'm just going to get a level and make sure that they're all straight, and then start to drill a pilot hole. Okay, so I've got my level, so I'm going to drill my first hole, which is always the nervous bit. So that's the pilot holes drilled. Just going to check inside of the door now and see everything's okay where those have come through. Oh, and they've not come through. Okay, obviously not a long enough drill bit, or the door's so thick. So I'm going to go in with the big drill now, which is now a wood bit. This is a 22mm. Okay, so I'm going to go for the middle one. Let's just have a look inside, see where that's come through. No, not come through. Further. Now that's gone through. Yep, so I can tidy that up from the inside. Feel that all of those have gone through to the inside now. So then I'll just cut the rest of the hole out from the inside. So you can see where the 3 holes have come through. So I'm just gonna this one's gonna be a bit more tricky because it's just on the edge. So the shank, which is this part, this comes in from the outside to the back where the brass will then fit on. Okay. Okay, so let's push the shank through. There it is. Because we're so close to that gas, I'm going to just put in a John Guest 90 degree. Like so. That'll just tidy it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm now going to put the other two shanks in. Okay, so that's all three of the shanks now through. On the back of there, I'm putting a John Guest fitting. Again, fit right angles on these. Right degree angles on these once I've screwed them up. So. So that's all nice and tidy. So now I need to do the lines from the shanks to the kegs and then fit the taps on the front. Okay, so fit the middle tap first, just because that's the one I've got to hand, and the middle one I'm going to have a stout spout on there. Okay, so I'm just tightening up the last tap. What I did realise was actually I should have fitted this tap first, because trying to do up the font it's a bit tricky with the tap in the way and the handle on the other side. So let's try and think about that next time, or when you're doing a build. Okay, so that's the three taps all fitted now. Okay, so back to the inside. I've got this little shelf that I've built so that all my kegs are sitting at the same height. So I'm just going to pop this in. Keg lines, those go next. And for the keg lines coming from the taps, I'm going to be using Gen X, which is the highest quality beer line that we have. Gen X has the least amount of O2 leakage and seepage into your beer lines. It's also antimicrobial, which is really good for homebrew, because you sometimes might be drawing a beer off for 3, 4, even 7 days. So that means beer sitting in the line isn't going to go mouldy and ruin your lines. Okay, so now what I've done is I've got a 9 litre keg that's got Star San gas pressure in it. I've hooked that up to the beer line for the first tap, and I'm just going to see how that pours, because judging length of beer line, it's a bit of a tricky art. I'm quite happy with that, because I can regulate the flow on the tap. Okay, so that's 2 meters I've actually got there. So I'm going to do pretty much the same on the other 2 taps now. Okay, there we go. So that's the finished SMEGerator, as we're going to call it. A little bit tight in there, as you know. There's lots of pipes, but what I've done is with the liquid out, I've taped those so I know which ones are which. You can quite easily distinguish between which ones. I've got 3 kegs in there. Gas, I've got the lager which I'm running at the moment, and the pale ale running off one secondary regulator, and then I've got the stout which is running off a secondary regulator on its own, so I can vary the pressure on that and serve that a little bit slower and a little bit less carbonated. Now all there is time to pour a beer, I think. Cheers. Don't forget, if you like our videos, please like our Facebook channel, also look at our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks very much.